I would like to start building some stuff in this world, but in order to do that, we need resources, and we're going to take care of one of those in today's episode. Today, we're going to make a slime farm, but not your traditional slime farm, a create-style slime farm. And what does that mean? That means that we're going to create slime out of wheat. You heard me right, out of wheat. And we're going to use this area that I've been clearing out between episodes to create a little slime factory. But first we gotta level the ground a little bit because this isn't exactly going to do for a factory. And as you can probably tell between episodes, I've also been working on enchanting some tools and gathering some resources. I now have diamond tools at my disposal, and I'm going to keep going off camera as well. Now, let's go over the process that we're going to have to go through in order to make slime balls. So the crafting recipe we're going to use is this one right here, dough and lime green dye. Now I've worked it out, we're going to need 3 farms inside this building in order to make our slime. The first 2 are in order to make the dye. So we're going to need green and white dye. Now obviously for the green we're going to need a cactus farm, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to throw it through a mill, that way we double the amount of cactus that we get. And for the white dye we're going to throw bones through a mill as well to get 3 bone meal per, with the added chance of getting an extra 3 bone meal and some white dye. And we have an easy source of bones over here, only about 150 blocks away. We have a skeleton spawner up there, which we can actually easily move with the create mod using a minecart contraption. And the last farm we're going to need in order to get the dough is a wheat farm, because we need to put wheat through either a crusher or a mill, which is what we're going to do to get this wheat flour. So we're going to have a lot going on in this building, but I'm going to try and keep it as small as possible, because for this series I was between 2 different options, mega or modular, and I think I'm going to go with a modular approach for this factory. And what I mean by that is rather than having one mega factory making everything, I'm going to have several smaller factories dotted around this island that make a specific material. So in this case, we're going to be making slime. Alright, so we gotta go on a little expedition to find some stuff for this project. We need both slime balls and we need cactus, and we'll pick up a few other things along the way if we find them too, but let's see if we can find our stuff. Good news, guys! I have Optifine now, and also I found a way to cut out the cactus farm, making this building so much smaller. Instead of getting white dye and green dye, what we're going to do is we're going to go straight for lime green dye, which we can actually get by milling a sea pickle, which I managed to pick up a few of on my journey. Now, we are still going to need the bone farm because we're going to need to bone meal the pickles, but I mean, that's not a big deal. Now, I'm going to build all the bits and bobs that we need for this project, and I will be right back. Alright, some time has passed and I've been hard at work making parts. This barrel right here has all the stuff that we will need, or at least hopefully all the stuff we'll need. I imagine I'll probably have to make a few more bits, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So my plan is to make the entire contraption and then make the building around it. I don't exactly know how I'm going to make the entire contraption, but I guess I'll figure that out along the way. I know what I need it to do, and that's a start. So this is going to be the end point that takes in our stuff to make the slime balls. So I only want these to take lime green dye and dough. Now this is where the difficult part comes in. I've got to actually plan out all the conveyors and where everything's going to come from. Do I have to place this down here maybe? And there, and there. Yep, that's how I do it. Okay, I'm not sure what I've done. Oh boy. Oh, why are all the buttons gone? This is so trippy. Oh, well, that's not right. Well, I restarted the game and everything's back, so I guess it was just a glitch. Alright, this side's done. It's a little messy, but it's done. So this is the contraption that's going to get us all our sea pickles. We're going to use some wireless redstone to do it too, because I couldn't be bothered to figure out how to connect the observer to the piston. If you can be lazy, why not? But I just have this powered right now so that it's not constantly going, but when I unpower this, this is going to continually destroy that block, which is where sea pickles are going to grow to. So I've got 2 dispensers here which will pop out bone meal when this guy is powered. Let's actually pop some bone meal in the chest here. It should evenly disperse between the 2 dispensers if I did this properly. Nope, apparently I did not. Oh, I see what I did there. I don't know why that's facing into the other hopper. That's supposed to be facing into the dispenser. Let's try that again. And bone meal and bone meal. Good. So now when I power this guy right here, it's going to start growing pickles and breaking them, and then they go into this hopper here. Okay, not all of them went into the hopper. A lot of them ended up over here. Gonna slap one of these guys here, and let's throw a little bit more bone meal in, and try this one more time. How it got out here, I don't know. Probably have to just surround it with blocks or something, but if I destroy this guy right here, there were a bunch of sea pickles in it. But yeah, that's how this part works. As I learn more, I'll probably optimize it on the go. But that's just step one. That's how we get our lime green dye. Let's jump over to the other side here and start working on the dough. Alright, the dough part is done, or at least the prototype of it is anyways. It'll probably change over time once again, but I mean, for a first attempt, I think this is pretty solid. But yeah, basically we've got 2 mills up here which are going to take wheat from the farm, which will be above. That'll grind the wheat down into wheat flour, which will be brought onto the conveyor belt and spat into this hole here. We have a fan blowing through water, which will turn all of the wheat flour into dough, and that'll come out here and get fed into our thingy. What are these called again? Mechanical crafter, that's right. But we are not done yet. We still have 2 farms to make in order to make this factory actually work. We need to make our wheat farm above, and we also need to make our skeleton farm. So I say let's start with the wheat farm. Some more progress has been made. Let's just hop on up there. So we have 2 layers of, what are these, linear chassis, I think, on top of a mechanical bearing, which is going to rotate these harvesters around in a circle on both of these levels and gather all of these wheat and seeds. Then we have these portable item interfaces, or portable storage interfaces, I forget what they're called. But as soon as the chassis does a full rotation and gets back to here, this will connect up to the other depot and deposit all of the items into this chest right here. Then we have some smart filters on the bottom, which are going to grab all the wheat and throw them into the mills, and all of these seeds are going to come out the side here and go into this composter and turn it into bone meal, and then just go into the pickle farm. Or at least in theory, that's how it's going to work. I haven't tested any of this, so we'll see how it works in practice. It all sounds good on paper, but we'll see what happens when I turn it all on. Anyways, there's still one more part of this farm that we have to make, and that's the skeleton part of the farm. That way we can get our bones for the pickle farm. Now for the fun part of grabbing the skeleton spawner, especially since it's spawning stuff already. Maybe if I try and drop in from the side, it'll work a little better. There we go. Ow! There we go. With any luck, they should stop spawning now. Okay, I don't exactly know how these things work, but from the pondering that I did, I think I understand it. Let's just give this a little bit of power like so. And then if we run a minecart under it, hopefully we'll pick that guy up. Hey, there we go. Oh, and I've fallen. I didn't exactly figure out how to pick it up, but I'm going to assume with the wrench. Nope. Okay. A mystical force is binding this cart to the world. Well, time to do some research. Okay, so there's a setting that I have to turn on if I want to be able to move spawners with the wrench. I could make a giant minecart track all the way back to my base, but I think I'm just going to turn this setting on. So now I should just be able to boop, and there's my spawner. Alright, it's time to build up the last part of this contraption. This monstrosity is nearly complete. I forgot to record the last little bit, so I cut most of it out, but I've got the mob trap in place. If you look down here where that cobblestone is where our mob spawner is going to go, and then it's just a basic mob trap in here that you've probably seen 1,000 times over in a vanilla series, but all the skeletons will go that way and go up a water chute. Then they'll come up here and drop into this killing chamber where I have a deployer. I believe I can give it a sword and it'll kill stuff. What I don't know and I want to experiment with is if I give it a looting 3 sword, will it give me the looting effect? If you know, let me know down in the comments because I'm very curious to know. But anyways, I'm going to have it so that I can toggle it on and off here so that I can kill them manually to get the experience, or I can just have the deployer murder them all. But after they're killed, it'll all go into a chest that I'm going to have here, and all of the bones will come out here and go straight up into the crafter thingy up there. And then all of the bone meal that's made will go into the chest and power the pickle farm. Have not quite decided what I'm going to do with all the other garbage I get from this farm. I'll probably just throw it into a lava disposal for now, but, you know, maybe we can find a use for it. Now, you may notice that I said this farm is nearly complete. All the functional bits are in place, other than the fact that it has absolutely no power. So we're going to sort that out now. Say hello to our new power source. That's right, I've decided I'm going to use wind for most of my factories, and this is going to be our first one. This is definitely a prototype design, but I think it looks pretty good, and we're going to see how much stress units it can handle. Let's just empty our hand and turn it on. Okay, that's quite a few stress units we can handle. And how many RPM is this running at for a base speed? 8 RPM. Okay, we can work with that. The good news is between episodes I was experimenting around with the cogwheels a little bit, and I figured out how to increase our RPM reliably. We'll take this cog for example. So we're starting at 32 RPM, let's ramp it up as high as we can, just for fun. So we throw a big cogwheel here and then a small cogwheel below that, and that should be at 64 now. Then we can ramp it up again like this. Place that in the wrong spot, meant to put it on this side, and that should be at 128 now. And then we can throw one more on the front here and ramp it up to 256 RPM. And if we try and go any higher than that, it just breaks the cogwheel immediately. It's too fast. But yeah, now that I understand how increasing and decreasing RPM works, it's gonna make this factory much easier than this little derp setup we had behind us last episode. But it's time to hook everything up. There we go, I've successfully gotten everything hooked up. Well, with the exception of one thing. Funny enough, when I hook up the device that actually makes our slime balls, you know, the reason for all of this craziness, overstressed. I was off by a little bit. If we throw our stressometer down on here, we are over by 288 stress units. That's not a whole lot, but because of how I rigged up this entire system, I can't just add extra things onto my windmill because that'll break the entire system, because I have things going at 256 RPM at some places. So if I increase the size of this windmill, the windmill will start doing more RPM, and the things that are already going at 256 RPM will just break, because nothing can go over 256. So in all likelihood, I'm gonna have to add a small power source on top of my windmill just to power that little bit there. And one of these water wheels does 256, of course. That's like 30 less than I need. Why? Alright, I'm just gonna make an extra small windmill. There we go, I actually managed to find a solution without adding any more power sources. I just slowed down the speed, that's the word I'm looking for, the speed of that crafter up there, and then I slowed down the speed of these ones here to 128 RPM instead of, I believe it was at 256 before. Actually, this might even be lower. This might be at 64. I placed it in the wrong spot. Aha! Nope, 32. I slowed it down quite a bit, but that should still be fine for our needs. Now, the final thing this construction needs is a chest right here for all of the slime balls to go into, and it is finished. But with that being said, I have also noticed that we haven't been getting any dough or anything. The sea pickles make sense. I haven't turned that on. But I should probably check out why I'm not getting any dough, because theoretically that should be working perfectly fine right now. It's possible that the wheat just hasn't grown since I started it up, so I'm gonna kickstart it with a little bit up here and see what happens. Alright, when I throw the wheat in here, it should get drawn into the mills. Okay, that's good. Now I've just gotta wait and see if it does anything. Alright, well it looks like it's finished and it hasn't done anything with the flowers, so I'm gonna assume this isn't working properly. And, I guess I am dough now. I might have an idea as to why it's not working. This arrow looks like it's pointing in. What if I smack it with the wrench? There we go.
Oh, no. Okay, well, that's partially working now. Those seeds shouldn't be coming out here, though. They should be coming out up there. Oh, the arrow's pointing in again. Okay, problem number 2. We've got dough being made, but it's not being pushed into the thingy. Because ideally what I wanted was for it to come through onto the conveyor belt here and then be pushed over there. Oh, that's not going to work either. Oh, wait, yes it is. I just need dye and it can start making stuff. I'm going to assume stuff doesn't despawn on a conveyor belt. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and assume that this doesn't work because it's not hooked up to anything. So we need a little bit of re-engineering here, I think. Okay, I think I've fixed it. I added a depot here, which I did confirm a brass whatchamacallit thingy. Brass funnel can withdraw from a depot. So I've got that set to dough. Let's go up and test this again. Alright, wheat in. Now we grind it up. That falls down and goes onto the depot. Alright, so it does not appear to be working. Wow, I don't know why I didn't think of this, but, well, the obvious answer, smart shoot. Alright, one more try. Well, we're moving in the right direction at least. Ah, there we go. I just had to smack it with a wrench. Alright, one final test, because we're out of wheat after this too. Alright, it's being blasted, and it came out the right spot. Awesome. Now the only thing that I want to do still is I want to add a buffer here, so I think I'm going to remove this guy here and then replace this spot with a barrel and then add the funnel back in. Well, after a lot of troubleshooting, I think I finally have everything working. You can see up in the top corner there, the bone meal is being made. I did place the skeleton spawner down below, and we have the deployer with my looting 2 sword killing all of the skeletons. I am going to put a lever on this as well, that way I can turn it off and kill them manually for experience if I want. But I think it is about time for a test, because once we turn the pickle farm on here, that will be the real test to see if everything works, because then we'll get some lime dye over here, and hopefully it'll start making slime balls. So we got to flick our 2 levers here. So the first one is this guy right here to turn on the piston, and then hopefully when we flick this lever here, we'll start getting pickles. Alright, let's see what happens. Yep, we got dye coming. Oh, well, that was... Oh, okay. Why do we have green dye? Oh, there's a 10% chance of getting green dye from milling a pickle. Well, we should be able to fix that by just throwing a barrel down here with a smart chute going into it and then filter out the green dye. Alright, let's turn this on again and try it again. Well, the good news is the green dye is going into the barrel like it's supposed to. The bad news is, something's gone wrong here. Ah, I see what's gone wrong. Yoink. And look at that, we have slime balls being made. Oh, right, I can't open this. We'll just go ahead and replace this with a barrel. Now let's turn this guy back on, and hopefully this time everything will work as it's supposed to. There we go. As the bones are coming in, we're making bone meal. That's being fed into the pickle farm. Pickles are being made, and as we get pickles, they're being made into lime dye, which goes into here and makes our slime balls. Alright, why are you stuck again? Chainmail. I have to keep adding stuff to the filter because it keeps getting stuck. Actually, now that I know how this filter works a little better after doing a bunch of experimenting. Oh, I'm stuck in my gears. There we go, found my way out. I should be able to just get rid of all of this stuff, turn this to a deny list, and then have it take everything that's not a bone. Well, bones are still coming along down here, so I think it worked. Well, I picked up a pickle down here, so stuff's escaping somehow, but, I mean, I'd say it's working pretty well for the most part. Now, before you guys all start blasting me in the comments, let me address the elephant in the room. I am fully aware that this is way over-engineered and that it's nowhere close to efficient. If I wanted this to be way more efficient, I would have made a moss farm for the bone meal rather than a skeleton farm, but the whole idea was to get me used to different aspects of Create, so moving the spawners around, using conveyor belts, gearboxes, rotation, all that kind of stuff. And I'd say this served its purpose. And despite it not being very efficient, I mean, we still got quite a bit of slime here. But I'm sure as time goes on, we'll learn way more about the Create mod, and then maybe like 10 or 15 episodes from now, we can re-engineer this to be more efficient and faster. But for the time being, it serves its purpose. and I think it looks really cool. But we gotta make it look way more cool if it's gonna be a king build, because let's be real, there's not much build around it, is there? There's just the functionality. We gotta make a building for this, otherwise it's just a ugly contraption in the middle of a field. Beautiful, beautiful contraption in the middle of the field. I always get those words mixed up. I didn't mean it, farm. Don't take my words to heart.
And a little time has passed, and I've done quite a bit of building here. I've just kind of been working on it on my off time because I've been quite busy with exams and everything in the last week, but I'm quite happy with how this has turned out. The detail work isn't all there yet, but as you can see, I do have a little bit of a gradient going in some places. I really like that this mod adds a bunch of different stone brick types. So this is tough stone brick, this is regular stone brick, and this is andesite stone brick, and I think that gives a really good gradient going from kind of like a dirtier stone brick to a lighter one. I like it anyways. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But as you can probably tell, this isn't quite complete either, so I do want to make a little bit of a deck here going into this section here, and this is actually going to be my living space for the first little bit anyways. So I'm going to move all the chests from over there into this area, and I'm going to decorate it up real nice. And I want to get that gradient going up there as well, and I want the copper on the roof to age a bit too. So that copper right there is ideally what I want for the roof, but we need a honey farm in order to get it to stay at that point. And on the inside, as you can see, I have not done any work at all, really, so I really need to decorate the inside here. I need to light this up before something spawns and blows the entire thing up. And I need to get some lights up in the farm area too, because I bet it's not really growing anymore now that there's no light. Also, why is this guy not poking our skeletons? Uh-oh, he should be poking away. Never mind, he's not doing it because I have it turned off. Yep, that was a smart king moment. And time jump. I recorded pretty much this entire episode in December of 2022, but is now January of 2023, so Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you had a good holidays and a great New Year. And I have some pretty big plans for this channel coming up, so stay tuned for that. But this is the end of this episode, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys will join me for the next one. Bye-bye.